Well, here we have it, the Springfield XDm 45 Compact on the same table right next to the Glock 30. I recently spoke about the Springfield in detail, and I really want to speak about the Glock right now. I love both manufacturers. I think it's a great thing that companies are jumping on board and competing with each other. I think that brings prices down. I think that brings quality control up and gives us more choices. Let's compare the two. And this is just not the 30 versus the Springfield XDm 45. This is basically XDm versus Glock. And they're both great, and we're going to talk about the differences, and then you make your decision. Welcome to weaponseducation.com. I recently put up a video on the Springfield XDm 45 Compact. Huge response. Everyone loves the gun, so do I. I also love the Glock 30, so let's do a comparison. And we're really not going to say which one is better in this video because they're both excellent guns, but I'm going to point out the differences to help you make a decision if you decide to purchase a high capacity 45 ACP compact. And when I say high capacity, I mean like 13+1. I'm very familiar with all the other manufacturers. I got a Springfield, a Smith & Wesson on order, the M&P line. I like the M&P line. But right now, let's just focus on the XDm and the Glock. Now, a couple of things that separate the two guns. Let's just point out the drastic differences first, and then let's talk about it. The Springfield, first of all, comes with options where you can get what I call a two-tone. They call it a bitone. So I like that. With the Glock, you just have black on black, which is fine, and that's cool. Of course, we just want our guns to go bang and take care of the bad guy, and if that's the case, or have fun at the range. But the Springfield comes in two options. It has a couple of things the Glock does not. Let's talk about that first. And I mentioned this in a previous video. The loaded chamber indicator. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a snap cap in these safety check guns and show you the two things, or here's three things that the Springfield XDm has that the Glock does not. Right here, please zoom in close. Tammy, say hello.
Hi everybody.
Thank you for doing this. I mentioned this in the last video. You can visually see it, you can visually feel it, that there's a round in the chamber, and also on the back you can see the striker status indicator. You can feel it and see it, that there's a round in the chamber, and also very 1911-ish on the back of the grip you've got this safety feature here where it will not fire unless it's in your hand. Now let's talk about that, because Glock does not have either one of those three options. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Take a look up. And I say extra parts to the gun means more possible problems down the road. 8,000 rounds, 10,000 rounds, 20,000 rounds down the road, longevity. But that's up to you. For a new gun purchaser, I think these three options, which I just mentioned, are good. But it's there on the XDm. I don't need it. I have enough smarts in my mind to know, just don't pull the trigger, all right? Unless you know a bad guy is there. I don't need to feel my gun and look at my gun and all this type of stuff and have that there on the back. Just these things intrude the gun, in my opinion. So the Springfield has it, and the Glock does not. As far as aesthetics, I must say, and we all have to agree on this, I mean, the Springfield is a better looking gun. Look at the top of the slides there, please. Zoom in. Springfield has their logo on there, and the Glock at the top of the slide. I've heard a lot of different people make jokes about the top of the slide of a Glock. Looks like a stick of butter and things like that. I love my Glocks. How many Glocks do I have, Tammy? 20,
I honestly
25?
don't know. Maybe in that range, yes.
Yeah, it is in that range. A lot of Glocks. And I'm going to keep buying Glocks. I want a 357 SIG Glock. This is my next one. I love Glocks. And now I'm way all over these XDMs. I'm just trying to show you options, and I think it's an excellent thing that gun manufacturers like Springfield are jumping in, and what they're doing is creating competition, which will hopefully bring prices down and quality up. And we know Glock has been around for right at 25 years now at the timing of this video. May 1st, 2012. But Springfield's no newbie either. They've been around for what, 10, 12 years? The XD line. They've been around for a while, this XD line. So now they added the M, and the M means a lot of things. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the serrations right now. The serrations on the XDM, here we compare the two. Can you please look at the slide, at the serrations right here on the Glock? Got that? And look at the serrations right here on the Springfield. They're scalped, they're deep, they're aggressive. And if you don't think that's important in these safety check guns, then I think you're mistaken. I think that the serrations on this Springfield are second to none. So, serrations has to go to the Springfield. The finish, melanite finish on the Springfield, and we know the Glock has an excellent finish. Both of these guns have been torture tested by Guns and Ammo. They've frozen the Glock, they've buried it, they've put it through mud, and they've picked it up 3 years later out of the ground and shot it for 2,000 rounds, and it had no malfunctions. But I tell you, the Springfield is no slouch, and they've done very a similar type of test with the Springfield XDM, and it stands right up there with the Glock, so it's very comparable. Now, one thing I'll say is the disassembly. I do prefer the disassembly, and this is just my opinion, of the Springfield. I like the takedown lever on the Springfield better because it's very SIG-like. You just simply pull it up. So therefore, with the Glock, you have to pull the trigger. So if that means anything to you, whatever. You know, they're both easy to disassemble, but what I like about the Springfield is very simply that what a lot of people do with the Glocks is this right there, zoom in right there, this, what I call a takedown lever, is flush with the frame. And a lot of people pay extra money to make it protrude out more, which you kind of have to do because it's flush with the frame. That's extra money you got to spend. I'm just nitpicking. I'm really nitpicking. The barrels, both barrels I think are comparable. I think the match grade barrel on the Springfield is comparable to the Glock barrel, which is polygonal. I got to give the trigger to the Springfield. Now this is just me. Yeah, can you see me? Take a look up, please. The trigger on the Springfield is what they call the minimal reset trigger, and it is the shortest travel of any polymer gun there is. It's just bang. And the Glock has a long, spongy type of trigger, and a lot of people do trigger jobs on the Glocks. The XDm, out of the box, you do not require any modifications, in my opinion. You tell me what modifications you would do to this gun. Let's talk about some other things, like a mag release. Let's put a magazine in these safety check guns. Okay, now, right here, focused in on the magazine release. On the XDm, it protrudes way out, and it's ambi. On the Glock, well, if I was a lefty, that would be a problem. Of course, you can add it right there, but it does not come stock with an ambi magazine release. And what I like about having an ambi magazine release is just what if someone sliced me with a knife or something, or shot me in the arm, and I'm a righty, which 90% of us are righties. And how do I take out the magazine? Well, with the Springfield, it's on both sides. I like that. I like ambi on all guns. I think everything should be ambi, just because you never know if you hurt your prominent arm that you use, your dominant arm. Magazine capacity. Let's talk about something right here. When you want to switch from a small magazine, let's grab this right here. Okay, 9+1 on the Springfield, and you want to switch to a larger capacity, 13+1. It comes with this spacer, and this spacer is trick. Take a look here, it comes with 2 extras, so you have 3 in total. And they're serrated, and they have the XDM logo all over it. It's really good looking, and it's high quality, and it really fits your hand perfectly. As with the Glock, if I want to put the 21 magazine in it, which we know we can, let's do that. The problem is you have to buy a spacer, which does not come with the gun. I'm very familiar with this company called A&G. The A&G spacer is a great spacer, but it's not serrated at all. It's kind of flimsy. It's, you know, you gotta I put this, I call it skateboard tape, and I don't like that. I really do like the spacers that the XDM comes with. I'm nitpicking here, but as we get down the line here and go into 2014, 15, 18, and 2020, you're going to see guns that are going to come with spacers like this that fit for larger magazines, and XDM is ahead of the time on that. Alright, so I like the fact that XDMs do have the spacers that come with it for free, and they have steel magazines in lieu of polymer magazines. But as a whole, which gun would I choose? The XDM has all these gadgets, the 3 gadgets I spoke about, the loaded chamber indicator, the striker status indicator, the grip safety. Those are 3 things that can break. The Glock is just a proven gun that is just very simple to use, very simple to disassemble. Springfield is just as easy to disassemble. But they both have proven longevity as far as reliability. So therefore, I think that it's up to you to choose which gun you prefer. I do like, I'm kind of favoring these new Springfield XDMs. I just like all the gadgets they come with. I like the way it contours to my hand. I like the thumb rest right here. I like the ambi magazine release. I like the trigger. I didn't mention the trigger. The trigger on the XDM, yeah, it's just better. It's, in my opinion, it's a better trigger. Actually, they call it the minimum reset trigger, the shortest travel of any polymer pistol, and this thing you just barely pull it and it goes bang. Whereas the Glock is kind of spongy-like, it's more of a long trigger, and a lot of people have to do, if they wish, trigger jobs to their Glocks. So, throw in your opinion. Would you purchase the XDm or the Glock? As far as price, they're not too far off in price. You gotta remember, you got a match grade barrel, match grade trigger with the M series, and some other goodies that come with it. And you get the two-tone, bi-tone, which costs $30, $40 more. So at $700 compared to say $550, I don't know, $600 depending where you live for the Glock. Which one would you purchase? I think they're both excellent choices. For me going forward, because I have so many Glocks, I'm going to get more into the Springfield XDm line for my collection, and I'm going to get more into the Smith & Wesson M&P line, and also the Ruger line of guns. I like high capacity, small guns, 45 ACP. Please throw in your input. Please tell a friend. Please subscribe. That's what this is all about. All of us getting along. Thank you so much.